What did I forget? I probably forgot. Hi, it's me, Scott. I probably forgot something. Yeah, scratch on my nose. Ouch. Hi, how are you today? I hope you're well. I hope everyone is safe and practicing good social distancing and keeping your spirits up and getting exercise and drinking a lot of water and all those things. I'm here in beautiful Pittsburgh. I haven't really gone outside in a while. I leaned out the window yesterday, though, to throw some pillowcases 6 stories down to the ground so that another artist could use them to make masks. That was my trip outdoors. So, what are we gonna do today? We've been doing the MIDI thing on and off, and we're really close. I mean, there's all kinds of like minutia and details, but I feel like we're really close to it. We just need to. We want at least one more module that we will add, and then we want some kind of mechanism for like. Right now, we can handle one button. I don't think we can do the analog, but just some way to say like, hey, here's a set of. I'm a poop. What? Excuse, did you just write a little poem? It's a nice poem, life is yours. How are you today? A couple more little modules, I think. I said that? Was that a quote? Is that a direct quote? Don't quote me. Don't quote me, boy. I wasn't like meanly calling you a boy. I was quoting an Eazy-E song. I think it's an Eazy-E song. Probably shouldn't. That's not family friendly. Okay. Oh no, now it's a quote. I didn't read it verbatim, did I? Oh man. Shoot. Okay, so what did we do? What's actually missing here? Let's go over here. So we did some cleanup and organizing. We made a sensor module, we made a control module, we made a MIDI module. We didn't make the music module that would like actually handle music type stuff, but I just minimized the window because shortcut was for the wrong operating system. I do kind of want to make this. So we got these 3, great. Kind of want to make this web module. And we have 2 options there. Either it will take in fake sensor data so it can like emulate a sensor, or it can emulate control messages. I think I want to make it emulate a sensor. I think, because then we're testing the whole chain, you know? If we make it emulate control messages, we're not really testing, we're skipping the sensor module and the control module. So we want some kind of web console module. And then the bigger thing, though, is like right now everything's hard-coded. Like the notes hard-coded, all this stuff is hard-coded. So we want some good way to say, you pressed button XYZ, and we're going to do thing XYZ. I don't even pay attention to my wallpaper today. I like it. Look at this beautiful wallpaper. It's like the healing waters. I like it. Okay, what's going on here? I ordered some expensive Japanese toothpaste today. I felt like it was like emergency toothpaste because I'm not going to be able to go to the dentist for a while. Worried about this transparency in my teeth. It's a real fiasco. I have never tried the HDRP shader graph or like any of the special features that are in it. I've not done much. I've barely poked at the high definition render pipeline at all because I'm usually doing VR stuff and mobile VR stuff. It does support VR now. So maybe I should do that at some point. Maybe we should have a stream where we play with that. Okay, what are we actually doing? So way back here in sensor land, one of our problems so we need something that's like configure the board. So that like basically when board ready happens, we want our own configure board function. And it's going to do the stuff. And we probably want something like a list of pins. So we'll like digital pins, analog pins, And then maybe if we have specialty hardware, you know, whatever, encoders. It's a very likely thing. How do you make a function in weird module class land? Oh, I'm in a function right now. Get out of there. Are you lurking? Draklin, it's your special day. It's your favorite day of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year if you're Draklin. So one thing, we'll need something like this. We'll need to say, like, these are the pens we care about. And then we want to, like, it'll just be an array of pens. We probably want to come up with some better, I don't quite know about this. It's early in the morning. He's just getting started, right? He's got to work today. It's a work day. So we want to do pens dot for each. I always forget the syntax. So for each pen, we got to do the stuff we were doing for one pen to start with. So one of those things, we're going to do the callback and we got to configure the pen and then set up a callback for that pen, right? So we want to say, in fact, let's do this. I like that name better. So yeah, that is gonna do the thing. And right now, what do we actually do? We emit a data event, which I think will still emit a single event, and maybe we'll say what kind of event it is inside the event. So basically, this is dead simple, because this is just the Fermata digital pin reporting, and we just want to say we want to use a pull-up resistor. So by default, it's the value's high, and then when we ground it, it goes to low. So what actually do we want in here? So we could say, like, oh, it's a type. Let's do this. Let's just separate our packet so we can more easily log it if we want to. So we'll send a data event, we'll send a data packet or object. So that's the pin that we read, that's the value. And then maybe we just want to type. So here's kind of the question. We have two options here. Either we send a separate event, like multiple separate events, or we send a type. I'm gonna, for now, let's say that there's digital input, and that's gonna be what we send. The thing that's a little annoying about that is that we have to subscribe to multiple events, but that means we don't have to filter through the events on the far end, which sounds even more annoying. My eyes are bloodshot? Do they seem? Sometimes my eyes are bloodshot. I think it is related to my health problems. It's weirdly a side effect of my health problems, is that sometimes I have red spots in my eyes, but I don't think I do today. I think I have glossy whites. Sclera? Is that the word for that? The sclera? Sclera? What's the word for that? The whites of your eyes. Yeah. Sclera. It's kind of a weird word. SCL? Do you think I'm pronouncing it right? Sclera. Sclera. Are there any other words that start with sclera? It's pretty weird.
Sclera.
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 Sclera. Sclera. Sclera. Sclera. Sclera.
Sclerotic. Is that related to the sclera? The sclera. Sclerosis. Yeah, I wonder what other words start with scla. We want just like a... I want a text list. No, I want... No, like text... Like a... You know, or you just have a big dictionary file. 497,000 English words. Great. Words. Hurrah. It's going to be a big file, huh? Scla. Oh, but I only want words that start with scla, and I can't do regular expressions in here. I think I made a mistake in opening this file. Okay, wait. Don't do this. You've really sidetracked me. Wait, you have a word that starts with SCL and it's a bad word? Wait, why am I on the wrong input? Okay, because I was looking at my sclera. Okay, this is our sclera. I feel like I have, I'm going to say that I have, all things considered, pretty white sclera. Like pure white sclera. I was told by a dietitian or a nutritionist that might be related to my diet, that I have really especially white sclera, but hey, who knows? I wish my teeth were as white as my sclera. I'll say that. Say that much. We really have gotten sidetracked here, but this is what happens. Wait, I didn't download that file? I thought I just downloaded it. Oh, did the browser download to the desktop or something? I know, I'll switch the video in 1 second. I'll be right back. I'm doing important research here, sclera research. Download the dictionary. Oh, that's not a download. Okay. We're going to learn so much today. I used to do lots of things like this. Write little weird scripts to deal with the system dictionary. Like just look for weird patterns. Especially for giving people nicknames. I found it was very helpful for nicknaming. Okay, so we want a word that starts with, that's $sign. We need to turn on regular expressions. It's not $sign, it's caret. All right, here's all the words. Oh, there's 156 English words that start with scla. I don't know any of these words. Scleroblast. Cool. Great. That's a lot more than I expected. Sclera etymology. Where did we get the word sclera? Hard. That's weird. Oh, it's the tough outer coating of the eye that covers the eyeball, except for the... Is it tough? Ugh, I don't even think of it being tough. Teach that swear word to Draclin so he can use it on work calls. Okay, what are we actually doing here? Okay, we've configured this. We will get a digital input event. I don't know if I actually like that idea, but here we are. We also started doing some analog. Yeah, so this would be like our analog pen config. Whatever. I think we only had pin 14. I guess I could plug in some other buttons to my awesome circuit. And then we need an analog pen. We need to do essentially the same thing. Looks like redundant code, but I'm not. I think it's fine. Okay, and then we need to have a callback for it. This is quite redundant, but it's not exactly the same. And I'd rather keep it organizationally separate than try to like jump through hoops to smush it into one thing. Okay, that's where we get our analog read. And we wanted data. I mean, it's going to be basically the same thing, but it's going to be analog pin. And we could, maybe we'll end up cramming other stuff into that. That's not where that goes. It goes inside here. So we get data, and then we will emit an analog input event. From our analog pin. Wait, was that just analog read? What was the syntax for that? Yeah, analog read. So we set pin modes, set that to be an analog pin, yeah, and that's going to be an analog read. And when an analog read happens, we will emit an analog input. Okay, so now we can say, hey, I've got analog input and I've got digital input. And that covers most things. Until we start to get into specialty sensors, you know, most basic stuff on an Arduino is going to be those two things. So that feels okay. Not worried about encoders yet. Let's just, I don't know that we need any of this code. I feel like all this code was just kind of experimental code. So we're just going to say when the board is ready, configure the board. Do I care about having a separate method? I've kind of gotten away from that, where I don't, like I kind of prefer inline stuff more. But when it's a configuration, like it's based on a callback, Like I could break these individual callbacks out to other functions, but I don't know. I used to do that a lot, and now I've gotten away from it. I read this John Carmack post about sort of like inlining everything you possibly can, which is a little weird for like async code like this. So I think I'm justified in breaking this out. But all right, we got digital pins, we got analog pins. Right? So what this means is back in our main method, or main whatever class, what is this? Like our main file, we have to, now we have two kinds of data that we have to subscribe to. So I don't know if I love that. I mean, otherwise we would say it was one packet and then have a type, but then we would just have an if on the other side. So it'd be like everything's separate, then we pack it together, then we have to separate it again. So let's just do it this way for now. That would be pretty easy to refactor if we just decide to. So on the control side, we will no longer just have a trigger. We will have a digital input, and separately we will have an analog input. And this is where we would actually have to do the work to say like, hey, what are you? Like, so we already had data, we already had data value. So this might kind of work. Shoot. I don't know if anything's plugged in. Okay, I've broken, everything's broken, that's fine. Where? Oh yeah, because this needs to be inside here. Why would you put it there? Wait, and now I have this inside of this? I really did a bad cut and paste. This is not good. Okay, that was a horrible, that was a horrendous cut and paste. Let's try that. And I have extra. Okay. Oh, right. We decided it wasn't 14, right? It was actually 0. And that's what that was super confusing. Okay. Now we have, yeah, that data's reading. We can get buttons in there as well. Okay, that seems to be working. Okay, good. I need to take a short break. I apologize. Maybe I'll run an ad because I always forget to do that. So I will be back in hopefully a few minutes. Forgive me. Hi, it's me. I'm back. I tried to stretch my headphones overnight. I think it helped, but now they're kind of stretched wide, and I really want to be a little tall. Anyway, who knows? Maybe there's just no winning with these headphones. What are we doing? Oh yeah, we got input. That's good. So the thing I don't really like is like so far everything now we're pretty generic, so that's good. This list of pins that could come from like a config file or something. But at a certain point, we're going to have to do work that is specific to whatever the application is, you know, to say like when this button happens, play this note. Like, so what I'm debating is whether or not we want to like kind of abstract that out somewhere else. I mean, it's basically would just be a long list in here. Like, we would just be saying in digital input, like, if pin 7, do this. If pin whatever, do this. You know what I was thinking, though? I do kind of want to... Can I have, like... can I have static consts in ES6 classes just to kind of use as an enum without needing an enum? Like if I wanted to not say pen 7 all over the place, you know, if I wanted to have a meaningful name for that, maybe I want to stick it somewhere. Stick it somewhere else. Maybe I can do module const. So for example, like board.low in Fermata. What did we decide? How did Fermata do it? I can't remember. What? What's up? Yeah, I don't know, but I effectively want that. It doesn't have to be a class. It can just be a module. So like low and high. I'm curious how they define low and high in Fermata. Or like, where's board? Is it in here? Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, so board is a const. What's low? This dot low. So it's not. It's just a class variable that you could mess with. Which doesn't seem great, unless they do something to seal it. Which maybe they do. Yeah, these are all the other things we could potentially support, but we really just want digital input and analog input currently, I think. Okay. Yeah, stepper would be more output stuff, and I'm only focused on input at the moment. Yeah, it would just kind of be like for convenience of how to talk to these things rather than their pen names. So I could give it like, you know, small white button. But that's okay. I don't necessarily need that at the moment. So like all this logic is really based on, this is if data.pen equals 7 or data.digital pen equals 7. What did we say? Yeah, it would be like if data.digital pen is 7, because we could certainly have other pens that did other things. And we would just have a big old list of ifs in here. you know? And that would do the thing. And we could similarly say if data.analog pen equals ping equals 0. And then for other pens, we would just have ifs. You could do switch statements or select statements. I don't like those. I don't like them. It's very rare that I do the fall through thing, which is like the main reason to do it, but reason to use them, I think. But the I just don't like that the syntax is weirdly structurally different than like everything else. I don't like that you have blocks that are delineated by a single colon rather than by 2 curly brackets. Like, it's just weird. It just doesn't. It has always looked out of place in C-based languages to me. It's never looked good. Or C derived in the C family tree. Just doesn't look good. So I mean, this is a fake block. There's no if here, but let's put it in there just so it's organized as such. So that was to say to do things like, yeah, we still haven't really decided how we want to handle, like, how to handle our scheduling. But maybe we ignore that for the moment. Because we won't always want to do that. Maybe only sometimes. But we want a generic version where we can say just like, you know, whatever. Schedule message. Which we kind of have. In fact, like sticking things in the schedule, it should have. Yeah, how do you do? Okay, what's the proper way to do that? Like send message with. Yeah, but it's still weird. It's still, you can always put curly brackets. Like you can make up curly brackets. Like I can just put arbitrary curly brackets and have a scope. I just don't like the case colon. I just don't like it. It's not like the way it looks. This is a purely, that's totally subjective. It's just me not liking the way that looks. And I don't really get much from it. There's maybe every once in a while I use it, but I prefer ifs. What did we want? We wanted like. So what I don't actually know. Wait. Cycling 74. Those are the Max MSP people? Interesting. One of you people, Miller S. Puckett. Interesting. Okay, so, okay, that was a distraction. Like, channel is a thing that we care about. Channel 1. So that's purely. Okay, the channel is encoded, is like stored with the on. Mode messages. Oops. Good grief. So like 144. Those are all the node offs. Okay, so there's 16 channels, 144. So I could do up to 16 channels. Which I hope is actually adequate. You know what I kind of want to get into today that I haven't done forever, and it'll just be an embarrassment, especially after seeing that Cycle 77. I just haven't gotten into Pure Data forever. And I used to use it, and I might want to use it on a future thing upcoming. But man, it is such a thing. Interesting. What's different between these? I mean, I'm tempted to just go with vanilla. Used to just be PD and PD extended, but now... Maybe I should use that Linux distribution. I kind of forgot about that. Do they have their own... I sort of want to say that they have a custom Linux distribution. Somebody had a Linux music distribution. Maybe it wasn't Virginia Tech. Who knows if it still exists, though. Okay, let's not go down that hole. Let's start with just regular Pure Data until we run into something that says, hey. I'm okay with an installer, I think. Does my desktop go away when the stupid Windows security thing pops up? That's funny. I so super do not really remember how to use Pure Data. So this stream is probably about to turn into me fumbling with Pure Data. I mean, it's been, since I did something serious with Pure Data, it's probably been 6 or 7 years. Okay. All right, we got a new thing. What are they called? Sketches, maybe? We want, somebody, you got to hit a button. We want a, I really don't remember how anything works. So as long as we're connected to that port. Middle click. Okay, we gotta, oh, maybe there's actually, probably we should actually just open a, an example, right? I think there's a million examples, but maybe they're only in extended. Oh yeah, you know, stuff. That's not what I want. No, I want like, okay, maybe all that help stuff is actually in extended. Okay, we definitely are gonna need some help here. I don't remember how anything works at all. I thought it would come back to me, like falling off a bicycle. I thought there was like built-in help for everything. But I don't remember how to get that. Is it list of objects? Maybe it's this thing. Somewhere in here is a MIDI object. Note in. Is that different than MIDI in? So note in. Channel velocity and note on a note in. If we want raw MIDI, we do MIDI in. Okay, so we do like control 1 and then we type note in. And then we have to hit something. What do you do? How does it work? I forgot. You hit escape. Okay, so now we have a note in. And then now we want to show, is it a message? No. Might just be a number. Yeah. Okay, so that's, we went 3 numbers. I didn't want to hook them together. I don't know why I did that. How do I delete this? We're doing great. We're doing really well. I just don't remember. I think if I can get some of the shortcuts back in my mind. That will help. That's how you connect a thing. Click on a cable to select it for cutting. Use backspace. Okay, it's just backspace. Okay, so now we can do this. So this will give us those 3. Pure data is amazing. It's just very much its own thing. Like, okay, I thought there was like a cleanup button. Tidy up. I guess that's tidy. Tidy. Well, that's, I wouldn't really consider that especially tidy, but okay. So now our friend over here should be able to talk to pure data. Does that seem true or false? Seems like we have something broken already. Visual pin's not defined. Because it's data.digitalpin and data.analogpin. Okay, we did it right there. Where does it open? We seem to not be sending data. What have I done wrong? I got rid of all the logging. Oh, there's a bunch of data. Okay. And we did get some data over here. So that's very exciting. need to comment that thing out on the Arduino side that makes the boot take longer. There's some... Try again. Okay, so that's all exciting. It's all very exciting. Now, I want to do different things based on different MIDI channels. Like if I wanted to play, oh, you know, an oscillator. Is it like tilde OSC? Oops. Is that not right? I don't remember how to make... This is going to be a disaster. I mean, it already is, but that's fine. You're with me. It's us together. Simple synthesizer. We want a simple synthesizer? Where was this? In the browser window? Oh, it's in there inside pure data. Okay. So if we wanted a audio example, or like a sampler. I seem to remember loading samples to be a little bit annoying. Load bang means like do it. Okay, so a car drove by and I thought I heard the audio, but it was a car outside, I think. I don't remember how to... How do you do this? There's like somewhere you have to enable the audio. DSP is on. That's a bad example. Intro. All right, very crunchy. That doesn't sound right, does it? You hear that nice crunchy crunch. Maybe we didn't actually want to change that. What was the thing? We had an option where let's try this instead. That sounds better, okay. Okay, we have a sine wave. And that goes to the DAC, okay. Why does the scratch machine not work? I don't know. I also don't care very much. With this cool... I just don't really remember how to do anything. You know? Oh, it's just turned down.
Continuous softer, 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 continuous softer.
Okay. Okay. Can't remember how to do just to like trigger a sample though, you know? Just like hello, it's me. Oh. Hello, 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 hello. I wonder why that didn't work. Something's wrong with audio input. Would have thought it would just write to there, but okay. Fun. Yeah, so much of what I want to do soon is probably trigger samples, but I really would like a pretty simple way to do it. Sampler one shot, something like that. Like well, this is the audio sample. You're so quiet. Hello, 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 hello. Maybe my input device should actually be this microphone. This. How about this? Hello, it's me, Scott. Oh, there we go. Hello, it's me, Scott. Hello, it's me, Scott. Hello, it's me, Scott. Hello, it's me, Scott. Okay. Yeah, you got all of these tables, then you load them all in there. You know what I want? So here's the thing, is I want to sometimes do these things. I just want to play samples. Is there like a Linux command line MIDI sampler? I've seen this one before, but this is not command line, right? This is a actual application. I mean, it's MIDI, so it can go out to anything, but I kind of want to try to get this running on a Raspberry Pi. And so it would be handy to maybe have a command line sampler. But maybe that's not realistic. Maybe I do need to actually like run an operating system and run. That's maybe where this whole MIDI idea falls apart a little bit. Like that, just go back to the source of the idea is so I can build these control systems, but not try to build audio playing software because there's just reasons that that's a hassle to like tie together the program logic and the audio playing. So the whole idea was like, oh, I'll just make MIDI and then I can do whatever, you know? which I still think I like that idea. There's just not a perfect answer for what the software is, you know? Like it could be Ableton Live or something. Could be Reaper. All I know about is like, I don't think of Reaper as much as like, it seems like more like recording and a little less like, you know, it's not quite as much as the live thing, it seems. What operating systems do you support? I don't know if there is a Linux version. There is. There are experimental Linux builds. Which is interesting. Don't exactly know what computer is going to run this. It could be a little Windows machine. Could be a little Linux machine. There'll be other sort of Linuxy machines in this exhibit. Okay, need to think for one moment. I'm going to take another short break. I apologize. I'll be back in just a moment. There's a SpongeBob SquarePants game. Is it a remaster of something? Do we need to see this? What is this? Sponge. Is that how you spell that? Bob game. What's that new one? Oh, I mean, maybe it's not. It's called Rehydrated something. Yeah, Battle for Bikini Bottom. Rehydrated. So is this like a remaster? Cult classic from the PS2 era.
The rolling green hills of Jellyfish Fields.
Ooh.
A place to experience nature at its most raw.
Is this like...
and sometimes a bit tender from the stings.
Is this the most beautiful SpongeBob experience? Okay, so it's like from 3D platformer era. Okay, got it. I was a little confused when I got an email about a SpongeBob game. Okay, so here's the thing about pure data. I'm not very good at it, and I never was. For doing like weird synthy experimental things, it's so good. I'm not good at like getting specific sounds out of it, but I can like get interesting sounds out of it. The thing I'm doing in the near term is more of a sampler. Like a thing happens and a sample needs to play. And you can certainly do that in Pure Data because you do everything in Pure Data. In fact, we could probably build insane Pure Data sketches that would do every single part of everything we've done, like talk to the Arduino, process all the data, but you have to do all of that in sort of this visual programming language, which is okay. And I kind of like for the audio part of it. For the general sort of control programming part of it, I don't enjoy. Okay, so there's a streamer named Shift, and Shift has single-handedly brought this game into the modern era. That's a beautiful story. Shift has 4 million views for a speedrun documentary. Wait, it's truly all this person does is play this SpongeBob game? Has 4 million views from SpongeBob? That's a beautiful thing. Okay. That's funny. Awesome. That's great. Good for Shift. So here's the thing. If I just want a sampler, which I think I do, Pure Data is a little annoying for that. You can do it. You just gotta like load all these tables from a file. You can draw your own, which is also funny. This is gonna sound great. I thought there was a way to like force a load bang. No, that's not the one we want. Is it 2? 2 is a message. I don't remember how to do anything. Make this a bang. And then I can probably also load this to this here. And then click this. Why did it edit that bang? Oh, am I like in edit mode? I think that's a thing, right? Like to go in and out of... Yeah, edit mode control. Okay, so if I exit that. Hello, hello. Can't just click that. We can load that, reload. Okay, anyway, so if I just want to play samples, but I want to do it like from the command line, and I need like good, it needs to be good. Go back to this nightmare list. Wolf. I don't know. I don't know if I want to go down this route. Because the other thing is, it's like, it's good if you make things that other people can support. if you're building something that is going to live somewhere for a while that you are not responsible for. That's interesting. It's not a useful list because I know there's like, are these good? Are they maintained? Like, who knows? Okay. Yeah, so you'd have to make a sound font for that. I feel like I used this 100 years ago. Are these programs that use Fluid Synth? Still seems well maintained. Or at least maintained. What's on Windows? Kind of cool. Sound fonts, though. Sound font editors. Kind of interesting. I don't know. Is this a bad route? This might be a bad route. But do I like want to get into the realm of making sound fonts? Don't know about that. Ooh, sorry about that. Sorry. It's probably a bit much. I just scare you. Okay, so is polyphone still a thing? Remember 2019? That's it. That's good. Go buy some dresses. That's nice. Okay, let's just think for a second what we actually want to accomplish here. What we want to accomplish is, ideally, what would be cool is that this just is a read-only Raspberry Pi, and it doesn't have to boot into X11. It's just gonna do our thing, and then we're going to play audio samples. When we did Tone.js before, it was kind of nice because it did the work for us of, there were some Tone.js instruments that people made. And that was convenient. Is it this one? Yeah. So I used on that stream last year when we were working on doing all this stuff in the browser. Huh. But then we're back to browser land, and I just don't know how much confidence I have for that with they're not bad samples. We could get into that whole realm of like trying to run a headless version of Chrome and all that stuff, but there was something convenient about just having these work for sure. Versus like we could go the whole other route and say, no, this is going to be a Windows computer. It's going to have some real audio synthesis software on it that we will just talk to with MIDI, which was kind of what the idea that started all this out was. Maybe this is all a bad idea. Who can say? I had a follow and I missed it. Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you, Probtinpummonk 1981. Did I not see the alert? Shouldn't I thought I was supposed to get alerts when there were... This bot made this not working. Seems like it works. But the follows... It says Jate's followed too, and I missed it. It's not good. I wonder if something changed. I remember that spec sucking. Like the way to get the follows was not good. It was not a pleasant experience. Okay, so I don't actually have an answer right this minute for what we want to do. We could certainly just set up web MIDI with Tone.js and play the instruments kind of like we did before. And then different channels could go to different instruments. Right? I don't know. I'm gonna have to think on that. I don't know what I want to do there. There's pluses and minuses to all pieces, and it could be that this like fundamental idea of breaking the audio and apart from all the program logic is a bad idea. Maybe that's a bad idea. I don't think it's a terrible idea. I mean, I could justify it in a lot of ways. I just don't know what the tool is that I want to use. So like, once we get up to MIDI, we're great. In this system, we've got up to MIDI. It's just like, what's on the other side of the MIDI? Is it a web browser with Tone.js? Listening via web MIDI? Maybe. Is it some command line thing? Is it that fluid synth thing? Maybe it's that. Is it some other MIDI capable thing? Ableton Live? Something like that? Also seems possible. How many electrons does harmonium have? Is harmonium an actual... Harmonium would be a really beautiful name for an element. Harmonium is a beautiful instrument. But is it a beautiful element? I don't think it's on the periodic table. I'm sorry. I would like it though. The whole back end of the periodic table, all the names are insane, right? Like all of the... Let's just look at the old periodic table. Let's just take a moment. Let's take a little break from MIDI. Let's just look at, like, all down here. What is this area called? I don't remember what the... Doesn't this region have a name? I forgot what the, like, regions were called. You know, like the Nobel gases are in one place and on and on. Yeah, the groups. No. Oh yeah, no, there's, well, I thought, did I make that up? Yeah, there's a group of these, the noble gases. Group of chemical elements. Yeah, they're all the ones over to the right. So why did that table not show them? Oh, is that what the colors were? It is. Oh, it's right here in front of my face. Okay, that's the noble gases. So these are all the lanthanoids, and these are the actinoids. And these all have insane names. Although dubnium. Lawrencium. Somebody named Lawrence. Nobelium. Mendelevium. So these are named all after people, seemingly. Except for Californium, Berkeleum. Some planetary names. What's the most recent addition to the periodic table? And can I get in there with harmonium? So this goes up to 2016. All right, so we have some... Six atoms of tennesine. That's element 117. Where even is that? Oh, yeah, there. All became official. Nihonium. Moscovium. Organesson. There's something a little different about that one. Cool. Look at that. Cool. Okay, how did we get on this? Should I get real-time captioning? Is that real? Is that a thing? Is it like, are you speaking, do other people use that? I could do that with Amazon Lex, or Watson has a thing. Lex is not good for it, though. Lex wants intent. Like, you need real-time transcription. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I don't know if I want to build it. The tools I know of would not work very well. I think Lex specifically is not great. There's Poly, Amazon Poly, but I think Poly wants whole documents, not just like words, real tiny words. Okay, so what did I decide? I decided I don't have a decision, which is probably the most common decision I ever make in my life. I also decided, where'd this background from? I don't like this background. We had beautiful background before. Now we gotta find a new one. I don't like that. I liked it except for, I don't want, why are we, what's with these house numbers? Kind of like that. Didn't I say I only wanted landscapes? hold on. I said I wanted nature, water, and landscape. And these pictures are none of those things. Okay, there's nature and water and landscape. So that's good. This is like a car seat. What is with these car pictures? Unsplash broken. There's a skateboard person. Shoes. Okay. Unsplash is really bumming me out. Okay, what if we just do landscape? Is their API busted? What has happened? How am I supposed to find a beautiful desktop? Oh, that's a nice Canadian desktop. Feet. Not my preference. These shoes again. This again. This guy. This car. This is my favorite part of the stream is when we just look at wallpapers. Although I'm very disappointed. I feel like something's broken. Maybe they changed their API or something. You're killing me, Unsplash. Okay, what do we turn off? Turn off featured. It's just the same images over and over again. Well, I am just devastated by this wallpaper situation. I can't work in these conditions. How am I supposed to work without a good, beautiful, ideally a little bit morose, a little bit melancholy landscape with no humans, no cars, and we're back to this thing. Maybe Unsplash is broken right now. I mean, that is at least nature, but it's a terrible photo. Okay. We'll just go with this one. I don't like it, but Unsplash seems to be broken. Can they do this real time? Real time closed captions? Or is it like after the fact? Live closed captions? Oh, but they're typed live by a professional stenographer. Is this real? Yeah, if I am able to provide a caption feed, but that's funny. So Twitch uses a real stenographer. Yeah, I don't know about this. Like, so they wouldn't be very good, and they'd have to. I don't know. I don't know. It's a hard problem. I've been working on a project that uses sort of live transcriptions of player speech, and it's a hassle. It doesn't work super well. Okay. So I decided I don't know what I'm doing, but we are gonna add a web console. So let's just do that. The audio stuff is kind of a pain. I must admit. Console's a word that I really like to misspell. There's some words that I just am bad at typing. Console, I think, is one of them. Another one of them is the word Python, the language Python. My fingers always want to do this. I don't know why. They just want to make it a Python. It's one of the reasons I can't program in Python, because I'll just make Pythons all over the place. Okay, our web console is going to be what? it's going to be like just an Express server, right? That's going to listen to WebSockets. Maybe I should just make it Socket.io, just because we're like totally. Then I don't have to worry about reconnecting or any of the dumb stuff. Maybe I just do. Using with Express. Okay, so we want an npm install -save socket.io. Socket.io. And then over here, we'll do all this stuff. What port do we like today? I think I usually like 3000, 4000, or 5000. Let's just go with 3000 today. And then we need like a public folder. And then we need to create a oops. Something like that. And then if we do a oops. Oh. Because it's in lib. Oh yeah. Could just open too. Not have to restart all the time. How's that sound? Okay, so if we go localhost 3000, we gotta turn off the analog pin. That's in control. Let's just not do this right now. Okay. Oh yeah, and we need to, oh, this is interesting. We want that Express public folder. But is that from the root of the project or where the module is? I don't actually know that. That's the right way to do that? Okay. I said 3000, right? So I got a hello world and I got data sent here. So that's great. So if we want to fake a button here, and this will have like data. And then we would want a, you know, one of these things that we do. We had a way to get like data dash whatever, you know, like get all elements of the data. Yeah, this thing. Query selector all, this thing. So we got data. This should give me everything. Something like this. Oh, that didn't work. Data digital pen, data digital pen. Let's spell it right. Okay, then we get that button, and then we say the digital pen button dot. What is it? Why can't I never remember this? Add event listener. And to get a particular data field, the data set, dot digital pen. Something like that. Oh, that's funny. All lowercase, okay. So maybe we should have like different. What does that do? Doesn't work? Mad at me? Huh. Okay, never mind. Do it like that. I don't like it, but here we are. Okay, so that'd be pin 7. And then, so then we need to emit, just like we're getting digital pen data. Digital input. And we want the packet to look just like it's coming from the sensor, right? So over here in sensor land, we did this. So we get a release. Yeah, that's something to think about. Because we probably would want the click and the release. But let's ignore that for the moment. So we want to say, wait, not you, you. This might be silly. We might have like multiple layers of event emitting, but let's just ignore that for the moment. Okay, so we would say this, and our pin would be equal to that. And our value in this case, we'll just say is 1. And we will say emit a digital input with that data. Okay, and then we got digital input 7, value 1, just like we would have if we clicked here. Although it's actually backwards, right? Because clicking should be, whew, that's sort of confusing, huh? Maybe I should pull these low and make them go high just so 1. That's confusing. Okay, this actually would be 0. Mouse down. Is mouse up only when it's over? Like if I drag away, does that count as a mouse up? Or like a mouse out? What mouse events do I have available to me? I don't want to get super caught up on this web thing because the web thing is just for testing. Mouse down, mouse enter, mouse leave. Yeah, mouse up. You'd need it without also. That's a little annoying, but it's just for testing, so I'm not super worried about that. Okay, so this would be mouse down. Do you have multiple event listeners? Or like listen to well, let's just duplicate it for now. This is not right, is it? There's no. This is JavaScript. Problem is I can leave it and like never release it, but I think that's okay. Okay, so that gets data to the server, but then we need to get it to also the control module. So this would just be web console. Same thing, but it's coming from the web console, which needs to be an event emitter. And we need to, just like over here where we emit this digital input data, like sort of just like a little relay. So when we get this data, we'll just emit a new one. we do need to do this. So this should be basically identical to me clicking here. Like it'll end up in this land. Still feels a little silly because there's some, like we have an event inside an event here, but that just relays it back, so that's not that big of a deal. We could do the same thing very easily with analog. Yeah, I think that does the job, at least. So that at least gets us a start on our web console. So we now have these things. The music module, as far as like, that might just be a utility class to like, you know, you give it a root note and tell it you want a major chord and you get that or whatever. Or a set of different scales or whatever that looks like exactly. So that feels okay. The thing that still feels very unresolved is how we want to play this audio. And even though I just jumped through all these hoops and did all this work to mean that I don't have to do it in a browser, there's ways in which the browser is the easiest, just because we've got a bunch of Tone.js stuff already done to do that work, which feels a little silly. Like we do all the work to break it out, and then we're like, okay, let's put it back together again. Yeah, maybe this was all a bad idea. I don't know. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you don't really know. You have an idea and you got to like pursue it, and then it'll kind of like bear out one way or the other. And it feels okay. I don't think it's a fundamentally bad idea. It just might be not the best idea for this specific application that I need it for. Because what do I want to do? Like the thing I would like to do is kind of those Tone.js files that define a, let's see, where was that? That Tone.js instruments repository. Yeah, this site that has all these samples, and then I think there's like a definition file for them. No, where is that file? It's this, where it just like will load these files, like bass is made up of these. And the way these samplers often work is that you don't actually need every single note. Like here you see that we have 4 octaves worth of A, C, E, and G. Well, what if you want an F? Well, you just manually tweak the audio file and you either pitch the E up. I'd probably pitch the E up half a step or pitch the G down a whole step, for example. Same thing with D. D could be a whole step up from C, or it could be a whole step down from E. Same for B, whole step up from A, or half step down from C. So that's a very common thing. So you need less audio files, but you can cover more range. This is funny because, I mean, you're really only saving the D, D, F, and B, right? Which, you know, it's that much fewer audio. And you don't have to do that. You can pitch bend way further if you want. It just kind of sounds worse and worse. Like this one, this cello has way more. This bassoon has fewer. Like it's sort of an interesting selection of different notes. I don't know, man. Okay, I'm gonna take one more short break. How annoying is it if I play those ads when I take a break? I'm sorry for the breaks. I can't help it. I'll be back in just a moment. Oh, it's me. Hi. These headphones, I tried to stretch them. I think I already talked about that. They're a little better, maybe. Still not great. Okay, so pretty torn here. Because, like, you know, last year we kind of built this exact same setup, but we built it where all the logic was in the browser, and the only thing that was on the node side was the hardware. Like, talking to the hardware. Now we've done this version where all the logic's on the node side except for MIDI to send out into the world. But what I hadn't like thoroughly mentally vetted was what is going to receive that MIDI and how robust, stable, maintainable, all of those things is that going to be. It feels like, I mean, in general, so the idea was to get away from the browser, because I have more confidence in a node script running on a read-only Raspberry Pi than I might with like a windowed operating system doing stuff or stuff running in a web browser. I do believe during some testing, the web browser did occasionally fail for no reason. Like audio would mess up in it for no reason. So, I mean, there is that fluid synth thing. Is a possibility. we would have to either get or create sound fonts, which I don't know if that's hard or not. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's not insanely hard, but is it like the best use of my time? Should I be doing that instead of doing something else? Like, if I understand it, a sound font does basically just the thing we just looked at, like that it lets you define, hey, when you click these sounds, you know, you bring in your audio. Does it have to be wave? I mean, maybe this is the ideal, because then it can all be command line. If we trust that fluid synth, which it's been around for a long time and is currently under active development, so that seems cool. Weren't there Windows builds of this? Did I make that up? I thought we saw that somewhere. Not been updated in a while. Remember when SourceForge mattered? I just missed something? Were there... I mean, I see a source build here. Don't mind compiling it on macOS, but would kind of prefer not to do so on Windows. It's in Homebrew. That would be easy if we're on a Mac. Or on Windows. I don't really have like a very robust development environment on this machine, right? MSVC. I guess I could do this on a different machine, but well, chocolatey? Is that the Windows Package Manager? I'm guessing not. Okay. Cool. A synth. What is this? Okay. Man. Like this installation almost certainly won't be Windows. I kind of don't want to deal with that right now. Fluid Synth Windows builds. These are old, but maybe that's fine. Three months ago. That seems not as bad. Two 1-0. And that seems not bad. What do I actually have to download? Okay, but do I need those other DLLs or... It says required. Where do I put those? I mean, can I just run this? Oh! Oh, shoot. Never mind. I have Windows Subsystem for Linux installed, but its audio land doesn't only quite works. So how do I run these builds? I definitely don't want to clone this whole repository. I'd rather like download a zip of just this. Like this whole repository is probably huge. Would really prefer if these were releases. It kind of doesn't make a lot of sense to me to have this as a repository. I don't think GitHub lets you just download from a certain place. Like if I download the repository, I think I have to get the whole thing. What am I doing? What are we even doing? Did you have releases? Oh, was I looking in the wrong place, releases? Okay, so we wanted to be not this person, this other person. 0 releases. Yeah, never mind. Okay. So 2.1.2. Guess I don't want to build this. 116. I wish that this wasn't annoying. That's my wish. On macOS or Linux, this would be real easy, but this is Windows. And it's just hard to do things on Windows. Don't really want to download this entire repository. But I'm gonna. See how big it is. Not very much room on this machine. Maybe it's tiny because there's just like little Linux her little command line binaries, not some giant bloated thing. That's my hope. I guess we could, in parallel... Oh, is it done? Are we done? I don't even know if I'm going to be able to just, like, hit run on this. Well, yeah, why would you have a repo of every version? Like, I mean... I don't know. It seems better if you had individual releases for those things, but having the whole repo... Probably easier for this person to manage, so I can definitely understand that. But does not help make my life easier. Yeah, maybe this will be good. Sound fonts, eh? And then what was our other thing called? Excuse me. This thing? Test an external MIDI device. That's handy. Okay, we got all these things. It's gonna work. I feel like it's not gonna work. SDL to DLL was not found. Oh yeah, all these DLLs. Man, Windows. Okay. But what was that other thing? There was that Qt version. Maybe on Windows we just use the Qt version. What was that thing? There's so many. How do you know if one is any good? I don't really want to go through that list and like try to find. Well, this one's very up to date, at least. QSynth. Oops, an RPM. I don't want an RPM. Well, okay. Like, I don't think MIDI works at all in Windows Subsystem for Linux. Might be wrong, but... Yeah, you gotta do like a networked audio thing. Bummer. Okay, that's okay, because what I think I'm going to start doing relatively soon, although I don't exactly know how I want to control it, is I'm going to do some work setting up some machines for installations, and I got a Nook here, but I was waiting for Ubuntu 2020.4, which I think releases on April 23rd. So then we could have a dedicated machine to test some of these things on. But I think I like that idea. If Fluid Synth does the job. We just make the sound fonts. It does its thing, and then we can test the audio, play with the audio, make audio its whole own land, and then separately handle all the MIDI. And we made some good progress on that today, even though maybe it didn't seem like we did. We have a more robust thing than we did before. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I think I'm gonna call it and go eat some food. But I think I'm gonna go ahead with this idea. The main reason being, I don't have a ton of confidence for a web browser for a really long-term. I'm gonna call it. Call it. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you on the phone. Life is yours on Discord. For like a long-term, reliable exhibit that can function unattended for years. Web browser, I just don't have the level of confidence that I do for just a Node script running on a read-only Pi. And to get turned off, turned on, and all that will be fine. It will load up our Node script, and we'll have some like fail-safe kind of stuff in that in case it explodes. And then hopefully Fluid Synth does the thing we need Fluid Synth to do. Which I could test on, I could test on a Mac right now. I just don't set up to stream from it, You want Node.js on an Arduino? Plug a Raspberry Pi into an Arduino. And then have them talk via Fermata. That's what I do, and it works pretty well. Or do Raspberry Pi GPIO. It's just kind of annoying. Raspberry Pis are not expensive. Raspberry Pis cost roughly the same amount as an Arduino. It's not exactly true. It depends on which Pi you get. A Raspberry Pi Zero, $5. Can you not order from somewhere else? There's European distributors for Raspberry Pis. Are they really that expensive? A Pi Zero is supposed to be $5. Porto. What's that? How do I see? Where's Porto? Send me a link to Porto. Yeah, but if it's $5 and you add 25% toll, that's not very much. That's an extra $1.25, right? Depending on what you need to do, a Raspberry Pi Zero is probably fine. It's so tiny. Oh, okay. What's that electronic site you sent to me once? That Norway electronic site. Complete? Yeah. Do they have Raspberry Pis? Are these all? What are these prices? Krona? Is it? What's the symbol for? Is it Kroner? Krona. Krona? I know I'm saying it wrong. Okay, divide by about 10. So $100, but that's a 4 with 4 gig. 3A plus $32. Where's the zeros? You got no zeros? Oops. They don't sell no Pi Zeros, huh? You order from the UK? I know there's UK distributors. Okay, I understand that's 25% taxes, but on a $5 device, I feel like it's not going to be that bad. Or you get a 0W. I think they're $10. Then you have Wi-Fi. I know you want Wi-Fi. And they're so cute. And they're so tiny. They are not the most burly processors, but they're not worst. Like, you wouldn't want to do anything graphically intense on them, certainly, but they're pretty cute little computers. Are there not any Norwegian single board computers, so you don't have to... A Pi 0 banana. Somebody made it. There is a banana Pi, I think, like a knockoff Raspberry Pi. We need a banana for scale, right? There is a banana Pi 0. There are, yeah. Oh, that's a full Raspberry Pi. That's a Pi 0. Chip seems like it was going to be so cool, and then the company disappeared and like ran off with people's money. It seemed really bad. They're very, very small. They're like the Arduino Nano size. The most annoying thing about it, though, is it does not have full-size USB, so you need a like on-the-go cable, and it does not have full-size HDMI. So because of that, you end up spending money on those adapters anyway. So you might as well, you maybe might as well get a Raspberry Pi. I wish I could give you one of my old Raspberry Pis. Yeah, I can certainly run Node. I mean, you wouldn't be able to do anything tremendously insane, but yeah, if it's just like your own little home. You have a Pi 3? Oh yeah, then you're fine. That'll run... That, with, except for 3D accelerated applications, that would probably run any software you would write just fine. Pi 3's totally adequate machine. I have installations running on a Pi 3, maybe even a Pi 2. Smaller than a Pi 3? Well, very tiny. There's also other brands. I just don't know much about them, like the Banana Pi. There's so many single board computers now, but I can't speak to the quality of anyone. So like here's a Pi M20. It's faster than a 0, but I think the Banana Pis cost more. Like there's so many like fake Pi things. Banana Pi, at least, oops. Not Banana Pi. They've at least been around for a little while. They tend to have more powerful machines. Look at that USB-C. Wow. Let's see. I thought there was an Arduino now. So Arduino has these new like Internet of Things machines. Is there not one that has? So there's some devices you can get that have a an ARM chip and an Amtel chip, both. So it's like an Arduino and a AMD on one board. Is it the Udo? I think they tend to be a little bigger. I can't remember if there's any Arduino boards that run Linux. Oh, the Yun. Yun? Is it the Yun? Yeah, the Yun is kind of both. Yun's a little older. I don't know if it's been replaced. It's retired. So, but it could run Linux. I don't know if you could run Node.js on a Yun. you can. Okay, the Yun is gone though. There's newer Arduinos though that I don't know anything about. There's all these new fancy ones. Oh, great. Potentia, is that one? Or is that just their fancy high-end one? That's for AI. That's part of Arduino Pro. It's all Internet of Things though. No. Oh, really? Like built-in node? That sounds nice, actually. So you don't have to worry about actually setting things up. Although it's pretty easy to just install Raspbian and Node. You have to jump through a few hoops if you want recent Node, but it's pretty minor. What are the things I'm thinking of? I thought there was a new-ish... Arduino that could run Linux, but maybe that was just the... Oh, is it the UNREV 2? No. Is that Arduino Create? There are all these Intel ones, but then Intel like totally killed all of their makery kinds of things. Linux powered board with Arduino Simplicity. I think it's maybe this. Maybe it's just the Rev 2 of this, which is kind of cool. But in general, I do have a philosophy where I like to split apart systems, so it's a little easier to tell when a system fails. So it's kind of nice to have my Arduino and my Raspberry Pi, and like if there's a problem, it's a little easier to isolate them rather than when you're in single board land. The other thing I really like, the main reason I don't like GPIO is I don't like developing on a Raspberry Pi. So you can still do all your development if you're using an Arduino on your laptop or PC. And then when you're ready, you just plug it into the other device. Okay, but for real, I'm done. You got me all distracted again. Tessel? You're distracting me more. What's a Tessel? Interesting. I want a Tessel. Tessel modules. 2 USB ports. Oh, a ton of memory. We got a bunch of modules. I mean, but is the whole advantage... Is it just like a Linux environment that only runs Node? Oh, JavaScript and Rust. You like Rust? I don't know much about Rust. Wait, you like which? You like JavaScript better? Yeah, of course you do. I like JavaScript because it runs everywhere. That's the best thing I can say about it. It's frustrating and ugly, but it runs everywhere. How much is this? A Tessel. $45. I could see myself using this. I mean, if I was truly doing like an Arduino plugged into a Raspberry Pi only to do some node servery sorts of things, then thanks for showing me a Tesla. Kind of want a Tesla. It's not that expensive for a tiny computer. Does it have any... So it has no video output by default. You're just talking to it over this little programming port. So it's $60 for you. Okay, I'm done for real. No more distracting me. It's over. Thanks, Life is Yours, for hanging out. Thanks for this, the follow. Thanks for the follow. Sorry, I don't know how to say it. Okay, maybe that's why. Maybe I didn't put follows where they pop up. Maybe I only put subs where they pop up. Anyway, I don't know what I'm doing ever. I feel okay about Fluid Sense. Maybe I'll go test it on Mac, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a lovely day.